The first thing I want to walk you through is just how to work with your brush pen. If this is a new tool for you, then I'm so excited for you to learn this, and I just want you to know that we'll take it step by step. So when we're working with a brush pen, there's a few things that we can do to make it a little bit easier. The first thing is where we're going to hold the pen. So when you take the lid off, you can see that there's this top section after the tip, and it's right around here or just above in the smooth section is where we're going to want to hold it. And you don't really need to change the way that you hold the pen. This is how I normally hold it, resting on my third finger. If you rest on your fourth, if you do something like this, it's going to work out how you hold it, but you do want to hold it about in this area right where it starts to get smooth. The next thing that you want to consider is the angle of your pen. So if I were to hold it at a 180-degree angle, it would be totally flat and I wouldn't even be able to write with it. We also don't want to hold it straight up and down at a 90-degree angle. We want a nice 45, so we're going kind of halfway in between the straight up and down and the 180 to get a 45-degree angle. And the reason why is we're going to get a full range of brush stroke by doing that. So if we're to hold our pen sideways like this and just make some lines, you can do this with me, you can see you can get some really wide dots and strokes. If we hold our pen more straight up, we can see we can get really fine dots and strokes. But what we want to do is we want to be able to get both in a letter and a stroke. So if we hold it at a 45, we can get both that really fine and we can get a really wide line. The next tip is using pressure. So anytime that we're going to be moving our pen in an upward direction, we're going to be using light pressure. We're not going to be pressing down very hard. We're just moving up lightly. Anytime we move our pen in a downward direction, we want to press down, therefore creating a thicker line. So that's something to remember as we're going through the basic strokes in the letters. Anytime you're moving your pen up, you're going to have a thin line, and anytime you're moving your pen down, you're going to have a thick line. One more thing with the way that you hold your pen is you want to have a light grip. So we don't want to be squeezing so hard that we're tiring out our hand. We want a nice loose grip so that I could walk behind you and just pull it right out of your hand. And the last thing is that you want to have a range of motion. We don't only want to just be using our wrist as we're lettering. We want to use our whole arm and move it up and down. And so the reason why, say we want to do a downstroke. If we just use our wrist, if I only bend my wrist, eventually I just can't keep going anymore. There's nowhere else for me to go. If I use my whole arm, I can keep going as long as I need. So we want to make sure that we're using a whole range of our arm motion and not just our wrist. Those are the tips. You want to make sure that you're holding your pen just above this smooth area. Hold it how you normally would. You want to use a light grip. We're using light pressure when moving up, heavy pressure when moving down, and we're going to be using our entire arm as we're lettering.